hear from anyone who you hadn't had contact with in decades? I mean, what neat happened?
I'm sure just like all the people in that building next door, I mean, I've got a bunch of text messages still hadn't returned. You know, just the excitement of a game like that. You know, there a bunch of text messages from people you hear from once a year. It was a awesome way to win. It was you know, credit to our players, how hard they played and did not to give up in that moment, because it would have been really easy to do that. But really proud of those guys.
Was there anything that you reminded Adam of before the play in your role as sort of, you know?
We just talked about we were trying to get ahead and talk about the 2-minute situation, stay ahead of the situation. So we started going through those things and just remind some of the assistant coaches to, hey, make sure we hit Boise and the last play of the game plays. And so we went through that stuff and, you know, just on the sideline talk through those, make sure that each position group was schooled up and ready to go on it.
I wanted to ask you about Juwan James and his play primarily in that game and with the pulling. How often have you seen tackles that pull? Or is it common?
I wouldn't say it's common, because a lot of those guys they're really long and they don't have lower body flexibility, and that's one attribute that Juwan definitely has. He's a good lower body athlete. He can bend, he can move. So, you know, we felt that it was advantageous that week to pull, and he played really well overall and did a good job for us.
Well, where have you seen, I know you weren't here in past years, but where have you seen the most growth from him this season?
Consistency. You know, he has a tendency he'll play a little high, and you know, because he is a long, leggy athlete, and so it's for him to play with better pad level and be able to sink his hips, because he does have the ability to do it. But his length is, you know, it can be a strength and a weakness for him if he doesn't play with good pad level, and that's the biggest thing I think I've seen.
Have you ever been a part of a team that's played 60 minutes like this team plays 60 minutes, because no beam seems to be decided one way or the other until literally it's over?
You know, I don't know. Maybe in college, I was part of the 2 longest overtime games in the history of football, 7 overtimes against, when I was at Arkansas versus Ole Miss and Kentucky. They actually got tied this year, but you know, it's credit to our guys, because they play hard and they believe, and it's one thing to believe, hey, we got a chance, but they play hard. They shows up on tape how, you know, they're committed to each other, committed to Coach Gase, and obviously he deserves a lot of credit for not only instilling that message, but make sure you're picking players that football's important to, and that they're going to do their jobs for the guy next to them and for the team.
Yeah, it seems to me that the way that game went on Sunday, it would have been easy for some people just to pack it in and go home. I mean, that's to just see that kind of effort in the last play was, I think, pretty good.
I think the biggest thing it talks about is the buy-in. You know, when you, because it is like there's always doubt that creeps in your mind. Those guys are human, just like you guys. Probably, you know, I heard that after the game, those before that last place, ESPN has like 99.9% chance we're gonna lose that game, and you know, it's just the attitude of don't look at the scoreboard. You can only control what you can, and Coach preached it all week. You know, we're a good home team, and you know, we got a good home crowd, and we're gonna play hard and do those things. And you know, those guys, whatever it was, they're gonna execute that last play, you know, as hard as they could and do their jobs, and they did. And because there's a lot of things that can go wrong with that play if everyone's not perfect.
You talked about being a good home team, but you guys have only won 1 game on the road this year.
Yeah.
How much of that is the challenge of maybe offenses don't travel well on the road?
Yeah, you know what? I wish I had a better answer for it. I just don't think we've executed as well as we need to as a team. All 3 phases, we flashed. You know, I thought Cincinnati, we played 2.5 really good quarters, and then didn't finish the game. And you know, we need to put together 60 minutes again this week, and of good execution and not turning the ball over, not beating ourselves, and you know, find a way to find a win on the road, because this one's a big one.
Smythe has had a few key run blocks.
Yes.
How has his performance and production increased the confidence on the coaching staff?
A lot. You know, I give Shane Day a lot of credit, because he's developed him and done a really good job. But at the end of the day, it's always about, you know, Durham's want to get better, and he's been patient. You know, just like every position we have. Like we play a lot of people here, and I think it also creates a buy-in for the team that everyone has a role. Their job's to fulfill that role, and one week it's bigger than the next. And, you know, Durham's the guy the last 2 or 3 weeks has really gotten to play more and really stepped up and done a nice job. And from where he started when we drafted him to the point he's at, he's really improved in run blocking. And, you know, hopefully as these next 3 games we get him involved in the pass game as well. But he's done everything the right way. He's a really good kid, hard worker, smart. And, you know, we expect a lot from him, you know, this week and going forward.
How much different is the I formation stuff you guys were running, or when Nick's in the H-back, than what Adam is comfortable with, as he calls it?
You know, it's something that we're trying to incorporate some here and there. We think it's advantageous to give them some 2-back looks, because when you look at the league, all these defenses, you know, they just get used to fitting one gap, and it's easier to fit a 1-back defense because each guy's responsible for one gap, and then all of a sudden when you put a 2-back thing in, they got to fit it, and it's not something we've done a lot of, and we've had some success last couple of weeks with it, and you know, if we feel like it's advantageous, we'll keep doing it and growing that package a little bit, and we have more than we've shown, you know, with that tying in some of the play actions and nakeds off of it as well.
So, considering it's so old school football, I'm assuming it's pretty easy to build off. You just go back to 1980 film and you bring it back.
I mean, now we're calling the I formation 2-back, old school 1980 film. No, you know, New England had more snaps than anybody in that. I think it's in San Francisco and of 2-back runs, and it's just something, you know, it's a package you can build off of, and there's a lot of flexibility in it. Sometimes when you run a bunch of 1-back, the defense can bounce up, and sometimes you can gain a number advantage with the 2-back stuff. And teams that play really sound defense and anchor and box things in, sometimes the 2-back stuff can really help you.
Ryan, since he came back from the shoulder, I think his pass rating is 120 or something, and 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. Is he playing, when you watch the film, as well as those numbers suggest?
Ryan's done a good job. I mean, there's definitely things that we need to improve on, and you know, he's his biggest critic, and I'm probably second. But you know, Coach Hardegree's done a really good job of Ryan. You know, I think things are starting to click for him. I think he's seen things really well here lately, taking care of the football. You know, being able to get the ball down the field some. You know, with the play action stuff, and you know, sometimes as the season goes, like, the goal is to always keep getting better, and I think Ryan's done a really good job of that. I think as the year's gone on, he's starting to feel more and more comfortable with the moving pieces and starting to feel better about Bryce and where he's going to be when he's out there. And, you know, he and Stills have always had a good chemistry, but Ryan's done a good job. We need to continue to get better, and needs to continue to take care of the football, and we got to keep making explosive plays.
So has Kenny's number been called more, or is it just coverages are favoring him?
I think it's a little bit of both. You know, I definitely think that there's a chemistry that Ryan and he have together. I think Ryan throws the ball down the field really well. And, you know, that's one of I think his strengths. I think that it's really gone up since, you know, when Ryan came out. I think that his deep ball actually has gotten better through the years. And, you know, that's obviously one of Kenny's strengths is he has the ability to stretch the field because he can really run. And, you know, some of the stuff has been game plan to him and coverage dictate. I mean, I think he's the only guy that had multiple catches last week. Stills was. Everyone else had like 1 or 2 here or there, but Kenny had 8, and he played well for us.
Number one thing the Vikings defense does best?
Well, there's a lot of things they do well. Number one, they draft well. You know, they've done a really good job with the draft picks, and they're big, they're athletic. You know, the best thing they probably do is third down defense, because they get after the passer, and they're going to create. They have a good. Coach Zimmer's always been known for the double mug package, and they've kind of added to it and added a couple different packages this year that he hadn't shown, and now they've got one with a third guy down with Smith sitting over the ball as well. So it's just creating different looks with really talented players.
What's double mug?
When they walk the 2 linebackers up in the A gap and they got their 4 down front, the 2 guys are sitting there. They do that package as well as anybody in the NFL.
Okay, so you mentioned third down defense as a strength.
Yeah.
Third down offense, not one of yours. I mean, not one of the teams this year. How do you overcome that?
You know, that's definitely an area that we need to play better at. And you know, we talked about it's been a big emphasis for 17 as well. Like we keep talking about that stuff, and the red area stuff has gotten better the last couple of weeks. As we weren't as good as what we need to be there, and I think he's done a better job the last 2 or 3 weeks of make sure we get inside the 20, getting touchdowns. But third down is going to be a big key to this game, because they're the best in the NFL, and they have been for a couple of years, and we need to do a good job with protection, and Ryan needs to, it's a tough challenge, but Ryan's up for it, seeing the coverage and make sure you're getting the ball to the open guy. And, this game, you can't win or lose this game on third down. And they do a really good job creating turnovers and doing those things. And we need to be smart and win on first, second down, because their third down package can create some issues, and we need to be prepared for it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Get your self.
Yeah, this is like week 3.
I know.
Like, what are you doing here?
I know.
This is Florida. You're not supposed to get sick.